Hi everybody, welcome to Best of British Blackwell, where tonight we're going to be cooking for you chicken tikka masala. Doesn't sound very British, I hear you say, but actually you'll find that chicken tikka masala was invented in Britain and is the #1 takeaway dish ordered by Brits today. We're doing this to celebrate National Curry Week along with Wayne Walker Meats. The meat that I've bought to cook this dish has been ordered with Wayne Walker Meats, top quality meat every single time. Come over, have a look at the ingredients. I'll give you all the information on how to buy these ingredients and enjoy cooking what is an absolute British classic dish. Enjoy. So here are our ingredients. I'm going to talk you through them one by one so you can make sure that you've got everything you need for this. Let's start off with the spices that we're going to use. Very heavily spiced dish, but these spices are very easy to get hold of in your local supermarket. We have got some paprika here, we've got some chili powder here, this is turmeric, this is ground cumin, this is ground coriander, and this is garam masala, very important. So those are your key spices. You're also going to need some ginger. I'm using the lazy ginger here, just because I am lazy. I'm using some minced garlic paste instead of garlic cloves. You're going to need a tin of chopped tomatoes. You're also going to need some vegetable oil, but today I'm going to be experimenting using this light touch butter sauce as an alternative to sunflower oil. You're also going to need some lemons, some nice fresh lemons. You're going to need some low-fat yogurt as well. And what we're also going to do is obviously use the chicken. So I've got some lovely Wayne Walker bone-in chicken breasts here. These come with the skin on. I think they're also called chicken supreme as well. So we're going to be using these. I'll give you the information on where you can get hold of these and the website and the price. But all in all, this dish is going to be really cheap and easy to make because all of these ingredients here are quite cheap. I'm also going to be showing you a special treat, how to make your own naan breads. So the ingredients for those are going to be some plain flour. You're going to need some fast action dried yeast. You're also going to need some salt, and you're also going to need some of the light touch buttery, but I will show you exactly how to do that. Oh, and just forgot there, baking powder as well. So we're going to make some lovely floury, fluffy naan breads. Let's get started with the chicken. So the very first thing that we're going to do is get our chicken marinating in some lovely tandoori tikka sauce. Very easy to make. Just get yourself a nice big bowl. You want a decent amount, I would say 1.5 teaspoons of the minced garlic. In terms of the ginger, if I can get it open, you're going to want a few strands of this ginger in here. Not too much. There you go, just about that amount, perfect. That's the ginger straight in. You're also going to want some of this light touch oil, nice substitute for oil there. It's like a buttery oil, really worth a go. Then we're going to need to put some of our spices in there. So all of the garam masala is going to go in, and all of the paprika is going to go in, and the rest of the spices are for our actual curry. So we're going to add some more masala in there, like so. And then we also go and get some of our yogurt. You can just use the normal low-fat yogurt in here. You want a good few spoonfuls of that, just to make a nice coating for this chicken. Give that a good stir, get it into a nice paste texture. And then we want to start to get the chicken marinating in this sauce. So 1, 2, 3 with the skin on. I'll take the skin off of these ones and get those in there marinating, and we're ready to move on to the next step. Now we're going to move on to making our chicken tikka masala sauce. As you can see, I'm cooking the chicken and the sauce separately. First thing you want to do is get yourself a nice big pan, put some oil in the bottom of it. And you want to get some onions, which I forgot to add to my ingredient list, so I'm sorry about that. You will need a couple of onions. And then just add them into the oil. Make sure the oil is nice and hot. And then you just want to fry these onions off. Now, as you can see, I've kind of finely chopped the onions. Not too fine, but just nice and small so that they fry off quite quickly. And now what we want to do is let those soften in that oil for just a couple of minutes. Now that the onions have started to soften, you want to add some garlic. Similar amount of garlic as we added to the chicken, some strands in there. I would say that's about a teaspoon. And then you also want to add a good amount of garlic here, so I would say 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of garlic. Now let that cook out for another couple of minutes, get those ingredients in there. I'm actually going to switch this to a slightly lower heat as well. It's cooking really nicely now. It's It's on a nice low heat. Now we're going to start to add some of our spices. So we start off with 2 tablespoons of paprika. This is where you're going to get that lovely deep red colour, if I can get the paprika out. That's perfect. We're also going to add our coriander. This is our coriander, cumin, chili powder and turmeric. Just get those straight in there. Give that a nice stir. Now we've got to the stage where the spices have mixed in with the onions. What you can see we're left with is almost like an oniony and pasty texture to the curry. Now we start to add some of our wet ingredients, and we make a start by getting some of our yogurt that we had left over from the chicken mix. And what you do with this is you go very carefully with this. You do 1 teaspoon of this at a time. Stir it in until it's completely dissolved. And then you have, sorry, these are tablespoons, not teaspoons. Then we go with 1 more. Give that another stir. You have got this on the lowest heat here as well, so there's not a great deal of warmth coming through here yet. And then we go with 1 more, and now look at the colour that we're starting to get to this sauce. It's that lovely kind of golden colour from the lovely onions that we've got in there. The turmeric also gives it a lovely hue of yellow. Last one, and I'm just going to go 1 for the pot as well. So in total there we've got 5 tablespoons. Give that a nice stir. The final step of preparing the sauce is to get our tomatoes in there, and this is where we get that lovely sweet fruity flavour running through the sauce. These are just very basic chopped tomatoes, whole tin, straight in, stir it in with the rest of the sauce, and then just let this warm through. Now that all of our ingredients are in there, we're going to let this simmer out. You're going to want some of the ingredients to lose that bitterness, so the onions are going to sweeten, the tomatoes are going to sweeten. You run some heat through this and reduce this sauce down a little bit. It's going to thicken and give you that lovely texture that you're all used to with a lovely chicken tikka masala. So now just leave the pot to do its work. While we've got our tikka masala sauce cooking down, I'm going to have a go at making the naan breads. Now this is as new to me as it is to you, so it's a little bit of trial and error. I'm following a recipe I saw online by the Mother Jaffrey actually. So here we go. You take 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, whack that into a bowl. You take some dried active yeast, 2 tablespoons, or 2 sachets I'm using there. And then you add 150 ml of warm milk. Not too hot, but certainly not cold. And give that a mix. And then apparently, what you're supposed to do now is leave this for 10 to 15 minutes so that the yeast can be activated, and you should know that it's activated when this mixture starts to turn frothy. In the 10 or 15 minutes that you're waiting for your yeast mixture to activate, take 150 grams of natural yogurt and lightly beat it. Another ingredient for the naan bread that you can be preparing while the yeast is activating is an egg. Just put an egg in a bowl and just lightly beat the egg Okay, so as you can see, this is the texture that we're looking for in the mix for the naan bread. Lots of bubbles in there, so you can see that the yeast is doing its job. What we want to do now is take 450 grams of flour. This is plain flour. It needs to be sifted into this mix. You don't want any lumps in the flour, so sift that in. We're going to put that to one side. Now we also want to take 2 teaspoons of oil, tablespoons, sorry. And we go 1, 2. We also need some baking powder in there, so it's 1 teaspoon baking powder. And we need half a teaspoon of salt. In there. Then we add into that our egg. Finally, our yogurt. And get all of that out. Now we give this a good mix. Okay, so we've been mixing away with our dough. It's gone into a nice ball like this, which we've kneaded a little bit with our hands as well. Now what we need to do is get a clean bowl, put a bit of oil in the bottom of the bowl, take our dough, coat it in the oil. We are then going to cover this with cling film and leave it for an hour, and it should double in size. Okay, so we're at the stage of the recipe now where we're going to start cooking this chicken. You can see it's been marinated in the tandoori mix for quite a while. All we need to do now is start adding the lemon to it. A couple of good squeezes of lemon. The reason that we don't do this at the beginning is because the lemon and the acid in the lemon will start to cook the chicken, and you don't want that. So get a good couple of lemons, give them a good squeeze all over the meat, and this will add to the acidity of the chicken, which is a really quite a big part of it. So get the lemon, and then what we're going to do is going to put this in the tandoori oven. You don't actually have to put this in the tandoori oven. You can stick this in the oven as it is now, whack it on for about 180 degrees for about 20-25 minutes, and it would come out just as good. But I've got a tandoori oven outside, it's lovely weather, so I'm going to use it, and that's what we're going to use. Okie dokie, so oven's nice and hot. We just get these chicken skewers straight in there. Like I said, in the conventional oven, these are going to take about 20-25 minutes. In this oven, these will take about 15 minutes. You need to be really careful because they're really hot, but you're going to get that lovely traditional taste of them. So just keep a very close eye on them as they cook. Okay guys, so as you can see, these have had a little while in the tandoori oven. You can see that this side here, the skin on chicken breasts have caught that lovely dark colour that we're looking for in the tandoori chicken, and these ones without the chicken breasts have cooked through really nicely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place these in the oven to finish off, because the chicken breasts are really thick, they're not going to have cooked all the way through. So we're going to finish them off in the oven. Now we're going to concentrate on the naan breads. Okay, so now our chicken's nearly cooked and our sauce is cooked, and we're just about to start our rice. I think I'll start on the naan breads because they're easy to make, they're easy to keep warm, and well, I'm saying that, but I've never made them before. So here we go. What you need to do is take your cling film off, and you can see that that dough has risen a great deal. What we want to do is take that dough out. We need to divide this down into some equal pieces. So I would say break that in half, and in half again, and in half again here. So we've got 4 there, I would say in half again. So let's make 8 naan breads if we can. Probably done this completely wrong, but there we go. The dough that you're not working with, just put back into the bowl and keep it covered. And then what you do is you kind of work it into the naan bread shape that you want. I'm not going to be too fussy with these. They say that you need to make them into kind of like a tear shape, but all I'm going to do is kind of flatten these out into a decent shape. The oil helps with that, obviously, because it doesn't stick to the board. And then what you do, I'll do another one, because what you do after this is you then place them into a hot baking tray. So what you haven't seen off camera is that I've turned my oven on to the highest temperature possible, and I've just stuck a completely empty deep baking tray on there. So now what you do, and I'm going to show you this now. Now I've got these two shapes here. I'm just going to wipe my hands and get my baking tray out of the oven. My oven is on 220 degrees, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to put that on there. You can hear it sizzle away. Because of the oil, it's not going to stick. I'm going to put this in there too. Now I'm going to take that and put that back in the oven for about 3 minutes. So we're very near to having everything ready. I've got my chicken ready to go, the naan breads are done, the rice is in the steamer. I'm just going to add the very last finishing touches to this chicken tikka masala here. Now it's a good couple of squeezes of tomato puree, which just add to that lovely fruity tomatoey taste that you've got. And then the last thing that you add sweetens it up is a little bit of tomato ketchup. Now I guarantee you in your local takeaways they won't be using tomato ketchup. Actually, where that really nice sugary sweety tomato taste comes from is from the tomato ketchup that you put in there. They may be using something like sugar or something like that, but actually because you've got a tomato based sauce here, it doesn't hurt you to put any tomato sauce in there. So just let that warm through, and I'm going to show you how we're going to serve this up, because it's very, very nearly ready to go. Okay guys, so we're right at the very end of the cook now. We've got some lovely steamed rice here. We've got our chicken that we cooked in the tandoor earlier. We just finished it off in the oven. We've served it up with some lovely homemade naan bread, and then what we're going to do, just to finish it off, is get some of this lovely chicken tikka masala sauce just to go over the side here. All of these dishes could work as a side dish to themselves, so you could make the chicken tikka masala curry as a whole. You could make it as a vegetable curry, just the tikka masala vegetables and rice. You've got the rice on the side here, you've got the naan bread, and the best way to finish it off is with some mint and yogurt dip, which if you look at my tandoori chicken video earlier that I made, you'll see it goes wonderful with it. Yes. So just serve that up. So good. And there you go.